Hey guys, hi. Hope all of you are doing great and welcome back to Sociology with Srestha. This has been a long time. Alright, so I wanted to talk about war and superstition and how I'm trying to relate it with sociology. Something which is a little bit weird, but it's interesting as well. So, as we know that we are going through a war-like situation right now because there is COVID-19 outside, there's a virus whom we are fighting. It's something invisible, but still we are fighting it. So, right now we all face this type of a situation where we are feeling mentally weak and not so much strong. We are not getting that strength every single day to get up from our bed, do the regular chores, and then again settle down and go to sleep at night. We are trying to fight some kind of a war with ourselves internally, but also with something which is out there which we don't know about. So all I wanted to say is that this type of a situation doesn't motivate me much because I just came up from giving my semester 2 examinations, and after that I thought that I will be able to make myself more active, make myself more involved into sociology and its probable aspects outside the academics. But some way or the other I was stuck into a loop, that this examination loop, this pressure, it's kind of like a pressure that goes on, over your head, and you cannot concentrate on something else. But now that I have got the time, I started watching movies, and believe me, I came across one of them. I'm really a great fan of paranormal or ghost movies or horror, anything you would be knowing. And so I watched this one great movie. It's about war and superstitions. It's called Under the Shadows, and if I would recommend it to everyone, watch it. It's in a different language, but who cares? You've got subtitles. So you can download it from anywhere and watch it. I duly recommend it to every single one, not only from sociology, but also from any other background. You can watch it. You can definitely watch it. So what's really about this movie that made me think it from a sociological perspective? Well, there are a lot of things, and first and foremost is that during wars, what exactly happens to the micro conditions of the society? In the Indian national struggle, what we used to see is that we used to cover up the broader spectrum of politics and the social condition of the Indian society. But we didn't used to look into the micro politics that is within the family. And it goes on that during the undergrad levels, we are not supposed to work on those things because we are supposed to read something which requires a broader aspect, a broader perspective over the society. So we learn about the concepts. But when we go to higher studies, we get to learn about these very small and very concentrated stories, about one person's life and how they are seeing it from a singular perspective, from the micro-sociological perspective. And this is exactly what this movie gets to, from the micro perspective of one particular family, especially one particular woman. And this is, I think, involves the Iran-Iraq war. And after the war, aftermath of the war, what happens in that situation? And of course, the war is still ongoing at that point of time because there are nukes kind of falling from the sky over buildings, random buildings, and destroying people's lives, destroying families, happiness, taking all the positive energy from them, taking them to a darker place more. So when we go to this darker place, of course, superstitions barge into our mind. Even if we are rational, we are supposed to be rational in tough situations, in these type of challenging situations, but are we really that rational? No, we're not, because we start becoming weak. Weak from our physical body, but more importantly, weak mentally. And when we are mentally weak, we start seeing things which are actually not there. And this is exactly how other superstitions can then totally submerge you into a superstitious belief which you were not really into before. Why? Because you're in a weak situation, you need something to hold on to. And when we see in these type of scenarios, when there is conflict outside, we need functionalism inside the family or even inside a society. A small society, just like those buildings where you interact with your neighbors, you know that they are together in this. But in this movie, what we see is that they have literally as well as metaphorically shown that during wars, everyone wants to flee away from the war prone zone. Everyone wants a safer place. And that's why the war prone zone usually has those people who have nowhere to go to. So, in this scenario, too, the woman and the child, just because the father is a doctor, he has to go to the field and help the soldiers or help people who are injured. But the woman was a practicing doctor, but she could not complete it because of political situations, because she sided with the radical left. And that's why this is something which is against in the Middle Eastern countries. And that's why she was probably not allowed to continue, as her ideology was contradicting with the ideology of the institutions. A political ideology, a dominant political ideology, makes sure that every single institution follows that. And she was just, a victim of that. She could not complete something which she wanted to. Here also we see subjugation of women somehow coming into the picture. We can see that. She's penalized for not wearing a burqa while going on the streets because she was scared of a jinn. Now, a jinn is something which she didn't believe in. Jinn is a kind of a spirit that could be both positive as well as negative. But in this case scenario, when there is war and there is weakness, then when there is so much of doubt within the mind of the people living in that particular household, that apartment, it infests on the negative side. It infests on the human's weaknesses. And this was exactly happening with the main character of the movie. She was already doubting herself that she won't be able to take care of her daughter because she might not be that a good mother. As the daughter had more, attachment and attraction towards her father. Her father was more probably loving and caring towards her in comparison to her mother. And this scared feeling within herself kind of amplified more with the coming of the jinn and them trying to break the family, trying to separate the mother and the daughter. So these type of irrational beliefs and superstitions intensifies as we become more insecure. And this is exactly how, from the sociological perspective, I'm trying to read the emotions and mindsets of people from the microsociological perspective. Something which might not have been dealt before, but has been dealt in books. But this movie gave me a different type of a perspective, and I wanted to share this, that how our insecurities, our weaknesses are infested by negative consequences around us. The society somehow makes us believe in things which we do not used to believe in, but certain weak positions are making us believe in them. Say, for example, the WhatsApp shares which we used to have while COVID first started, this virus first started spreading. We used to believe in everything, whatever was passed on. And this is how fake news started spreading more. It amplified more because we are scared from within. Scared to actually face the reality or even confront it. Because the reality seems so weak to us, it breaks us. And that's why we somehow want to create this type of a, this imaginary world where we are supposed to have some kind of a respite. That's where also this jinn manifests itself and breaks the family, breaks the trust. But at the end, I can see that, even with these superstitions and everything, I think she wins. The mother wins. And this mother-daughter relationship stays. From the very beginning till the end, it constantly puts this emotional relationship under struggle, under tests, under examinations. And but at the end it wins. It stays. So something positive to go with. But this is what we can learn from wars, I guess, that it really breaks us and it really kind of makes us weak. It makes us question ourselves, our own self-worth, that there are several types of thinking processes that might come inside our head, that probably we are not being able to contribute to the war, we are useless, we are not being able to keep our people safe. All these consequences are just a matter of psychological pressurization, which comes from the society itself. Because the mother did not believe in the jinns before. But when she started getting these messages from her neighbors, her very orthodox neighbors, and also from her daughter, because her daughter was also influenced by another child who has faced the war's consequences of losing his both parents. He must be religious, he must have those superstitions his parents must have had, and he believed that the jinn has taken away his parents, and that's why he wanted to protect her as well, so that she could not lose her parents. This is what erupted into such a big mess, and I think it's going to affect you a little bit psychologically, mentally, but I think at the end you will understand why this movie is so important to understand, that what are the social consequences, what are the socio-psychological consequences of a war, and how superstitions seep in. It's like a fertile ground for the superstitions to grow. All right, with this I'm going to take my leave, and thank you guys. Bye bye.